Hello, everyone, and good day to you. I hope you're doing awesome, and welcome back to our ongoing showcase series on the Avalon Adventure board game and Dungeon Crusade. This is Roger with Groovis Games Unlimited, and again, welcome. I'm very happy that you are here. Thank you, first of all, for all your nice comments and your likes over on the prior one where we went kind of in depth with the quest system. I hope that you learned a lot about the game just from that and you're more acclimated to it. And you can see, kind of looking back on that, everything is randomly generated with the quest. You know, to a certain point, it's always a different experience for you. So today I have a very fun video. I don't think it's going to be that long, but I think you're really going to enjoy this one. We are going to talk about the key system for the quests. And I first have to say, if you hear some rumbling and thunder, there is a massive storm going on right now. And I have some scared dogs around me. So if you hear some panting, it's not a Blackwood Prowler from the land of Avalon. It is my 3 trusty fat hounds. But like I said, we're going to be talking about the key system for the quests. And let me show you these real quick and then we'll get into it. There's 4 different keys in Dungeon Crusade. That comes into focus. There is the Onyx key. Comes in there, it's the Onyx key. Think red. And then you can see the keys kind of red. And of course on all the back of these that you're going to see, it is that familiar quest item token. So moving right along, here is the Jade key. And notice that's kind of green. Back that up. Hope it comes into focus here. There it is. That's the Jade key. Next up is the Ivory key. And you're going to notice this has like kind of, it has a kind of blue to it. Ivory. And then finally, here is the Golden key. And this is, think yellow. So I'll tell you what, let's go around the dungeon and let me show you how these various keys are associated with the chamber doors.
The Onyx key is associated with chamber doors with red plastic bases. The Ivory key is associated with chamber doors with blue plastic bases. The Golden key is associated with chamber doors with yellow plastic bases. And finally, the Jade key is associated with chamber doors with green plastic bases.
So now that we explain that, you're going to notice in the 60 unique quests for Dungeon Crusade, many of the quests are going to require the heroes to find a certain key, whether it be the Onyx key, the Jade key, the Ivory key, or the Golden key, to open up those chamber doors that have those colored bases. And like I said in the other video, because I know Paul or Nick, you're going to ask, no, your barbarian Mahaliak cannot bash a door down. Your hero will always need that certain key to open up that chamber door. Okay, and I think at this time, let's go back to our scenario 1, Into the Depths, and this is kind of like a tutorial scenario. And you're going to notice over here in Quest Table 1, this should be familiar to you if you watch the series, we have this main quest here called the Baron's Wine. And this was a way where I wrote a tutorial quest on how to use the key system. It's a very simple one, but I think you'll enjoy hearing it. So let me grab the quest card and let's go over all this.
As the evening draws in, the heroes head into the village tavern for some much-needed rest after a long journey to Witherbrook. Upon entering, a stout, slightly drunken older gentleman approaches the heroes. "My word, look at these grand adventures before me. I welcome you to Witherbrook." He takes a few steps back and looks the heroes up and down. "May I ask a small favor of you? I am Baron Bartholomew Whitmore. I own much of the land surrounding the ancient ruins and would use some of the chambers within the ruins to store my prized wine collection. We can no longer enter the ancient ruins because of these blasted monsters. I would like you to enter into the ancient ruins and retrieve 2 bottles of my sparkling cherry jubilee wine. However, there was a small problem. I dropped the key to the wine collection within the spider lair the last time I was there. You must first find the key that unlocks the doors to the wine collection.
And I hope that you enjoyed that little story about Baron Whitmore and learning about his prized sparkling cherry jubilee wine. So if you watched the other video, of course, that's your story side, and on the reverse side, we have the objective and the setup. So we're going to go over this real quick. Quite simply, like it said in the story, here's the Ancient Depths area, and notice that there are red bases here. That is associated with the onyx key, red key, think of it that way. So in one of these chambers, after we do setup, there's going to be 2 bottles of sparkling cherry jubilee wine, and then one chamber is going to be empty. Again, that will always change. However, from our story that Baron Whitmore told us, he dropped the key somewhere in the spider lair, and that is this area quadrant. Remember what a quadrant is? 6 by 6 squares. He dropped the onyx key somewhere in the spider lair. So our heroes are going to have to journey into the spider lair and discover where the onyx key resides. When they find the onyx key, they're going to traverse over here to the Ancient Depths, unlock those doors, and search for the Baron's wine. Okay, so let's go over this quickly. Let's set up the monsters. We'll just go through that again. I think you guys enjoyed that. And we'll see. I'll show you how quest items work. But please understand, this is like a tutorial kind of quest with the key system. A lot of the quests that I wrote, like later on in the game, your heroes may have to find the jade key and golden key to find something else. And inside that chamber will be the onyx key to open that. So it gets, I wouldn't say complex, but it just gets more, more adventurous, you'd say. You have to find these keys to unlock these various chamber doors. Okay, let's go over here and start setup. And I went a little bit ahead. And I took this quest, since it's kind of like a tutorial, I took it very slow for people so they could get this system down. But the very first thing you're going to do is place 3 doors in those red bases. As you can see, we already did that. So that part of the quest setup is done. The next part tells us to gather 1 empty chamber, which has that swirly back like you saw in the other video. And then it says to gather 3 level 1 champion monster tokens. You remember these from the other video. So like I said, this is a tutorial quest on using the key system. So you're not going to run into any level 2s or anything like that. It's very simple. So let's give these a shuffle. And on our quest card, it's telling us to place these, or place 1 token in each chamber of the Ancient Depths. So I will meet you in the Ancient Depths. Okay, we are back in the quadrant of the Ancient Depths. Here's our monster tokens. And again, you don't look at those. Place 1 here, place 1 here, place 1 here. So who knows where, maybe all of those are the level 1 champion monster tokens. Maybe there's an empty chamber. Remember the big rule. You do not look at this. Put this far away from you and don't reveal it to the end of the game. Why? Because you're going to ruin that element of surprise that we like in these dungeon crawl games. Okay, let's head back over there and do the next part. Okay, the next part of setup, it says to gather 1 blank quest token. You get a bunch of these blank ones with Dungeon Crusade, and then gather the 2 wine bottles. So these are, of course, the sparkling cherry jubilee wine. And like I said in the other video, there's over 70 unique quest items in Dungeon Crusade. So it says to shuffle those real quick, and then we're going to place one of these in the Ancient Depths. And you can see from the system, when we select, or when the heroes go into those chambers, we're going to be pulling from the level 1 champion monster deck. Who knows what's going to be in those chambers, and you're never going to know where the 2 bottles of wine are. And again, keep in mind, this is just a tutorial quest, so it's a very easy one. Okay, I'll meet you in the Ancient Depths and place our quest tokens. Okay, here we are back in the Ancient Depths. Here's our quest tokens. We'll place one here, place one here, and place one here. And I want to say something, kind of a quick pro Crusader tip. When the heroes, a hero or heroes, remember we're going to be talking about rallying heroes. You always want to rally a few heroes before you enter a chamber. You can never reveal the monster token, the champion monster token, or definitely the quest item until all the heroes are in the chamber. And you have to defeat the champion monster before you reveal the quest token. So your heroes can't go in there and look at the quest token. You know, they always have to defeat the champion monster, but you probably already knew that. Okay, we're going to finalize the quest. Let's look at the last few lines, and we're going to be heading up to the spider lair. Okay, we're going to finalize our quest. The last few lines here on the Baron's Wine quest card says we're going to, again, excuse me, we're going to get the 3 level 1 champion monster tokens and then 1 empty chamber token. We're going to flip those over, give them a quick shuffle, and then we're going to place these up there in the spider lair. Okay, so I'll meet you in the spider lair. Okay, and here is the spider lair, and according to our quest card, we're going to place 1 token in each chamber here, in this quadrant. And again, don't look at this, set this far away. You never want to look at this. All right, the last step, we're going to get our Onyx key token, randomize that with some blank quest items, and we'll finalize this. Okay, and I have the quest tokens like instructed on the last lines of our quest card. It said to pull 2 blank quest items, and of course there is the Onyx key that our heroes need to open those chamber doors in the Ancient Depths. So we're going to give these a shuffle, and we'll complete this, and then we'll pull the camera back and wrap up everything. Okay, meet you in the spider lair. Okay, and lastly, we're going to place a quest item token in each of the chambers, and that completes the Baron's Wine. So, like I said, you can see, you don't know what's in those chambers monster-wise. It could be an empty chamber, or of course it'll be a level 1 champion monster. But remember, when you draw from that deck, who knows what monster that will be. So what the heroes have to do, of course, journey to the spider lair, locate the Onyx key. When they do, they're going to come down here into the quadrant of the Ancient Depths, and they're going to search for those 2 bottles of sparkling cherry jubilee wine, and that will complete the quests. Okay, so let's pull the camera back, say a few things, and we'll wrap this up. And guys, I think that wraps up everything for the quests in Dungeon Crusade, or the systems. But I definitely want to say there are a few other types of quests that I did not share here. I want you to be surprised by them, and I'll just give you a hint. Maybe, if I can find one of my keys real quick, let's say, to give you a little hint, so here's the ivory key right here. Maybe one of the guardians has a certain key to the dungeon, and you have to defeat the guardian to obtain that key. Maybe. I always want to surprise you guys. And I think that's about it. I think we did a good job talking about the quest, and you can see just from that system all over the dungeon, it's always different. But you know what, actually, I think we were going to go into the 5 phases that comprise a turn. But you know what? There's something in the, just thought of this. I think you'd really enjoy this. Notice here on our, this will be the next video actually. Over here in our scenario book, let me get it closer. This is called the seeding mechanic. And there's these various tokens here. And actually, yeah, I'm already excited about doing this video for you. What this is sort of like a random dungeon generator. What I mean is, after we do our main quest setup and the side quest, you're going to notice that there's going to be various chambers that are unpopulated. There's not going to have anything. So again, going along with the scenario system I created, I wanted to have that element of randomness. So we're going to actually do this. I think you'd really enjoy checking this out. And this is a great way to close out the quest system in the game. So, and side quests are associated with the seeding. So let's do that next. I'm going to try to have this done tomorrow. I think it's going to be a fun video. And we'll get into what the seeding process is. But again, it's like a dungeon, like a random dungeon generator. I think you'll enjoy that. And then after that, we'll get into the 5 phases that comprise a turn. So a lot of fun stuff to look forward to. Okay, I am off to work on more Crusade stuff. Again, as always, I love you guys. Thank you for your time and your friendship and your interest and excitement. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be working quickly to get the seeding video out for you. I'd like to have it out by tomorrow night, so we will see. All right, guys, have a great day. Stay safe, happy gaming, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.